Good morning, people. It is Monday, it is before 12 o'clock, and I'm back on the welder. What I have to deal with today is to remove all this here and the old umbilical, and then take this unit off and repair it, see what I can do with it. Now, I've already got a guide in here, and I've got this piece here which looks like it can be left there and used as part of the to fill in part of the distance between there and there, but you'll see more clearly what I mean when I get this off. Now, it looks like this unit here is held on by those two Allen screws down there, if you can see them. Yes, you can see them, right? And that's what I'm going to do first, is take those two off and see how it goes. Back in a minute. Right, men, it's off. After a bit of a wrestle, but it's come off okay. And I've got this piece off the front, which was actually all insulated from the case with a piece of Paxil. But there we go. But I think perhaps I need to replace this bearing. I don't know if you can see it in there. Oh yes, you can. Yes, I think I might need to replace that. I think that's just, there's got a bit too much wear on it to leave it in. But there you go. Let's look at it from this side. See if we can hold it up to the light. There we go, look. Oh dear. Never mind. Right, I'll bring you back when there's anything more interesting to show you. So here we go, chaps. People, not chaps, not chaps. People. So here we go, people. I've got it back on. I do not like that repair there, but it's good and solid, so I'm going to leave it. And I found that under here, just there is another fixing I can use to make a bracket to go right over there and across the top to those two holes. So that's what I'm going to do. So it will be reinforced, but it seems to be ideally lined up and perfectly solid, so I'm going to leave it as it is. Right, I've put this unit back on, and what I need to do next is to align through this hole, if I can find the hole, align through the hole my Euro torch conversion kit exactly aligned with that hole, so it's a straight line all the way from here. So that's my next job. But now I'm going to have a cup of tea because it's 3 o'clock. Catch you in a bit. Right, people, we're back again. I'm just mocking up at the moment. That's the front bezel fitted. And as you can see, what you have to do is fit it so that it lines up in a straight line with the nozzle. Now I can feel a bit of lathe work coming on here just to make a bush. That is almost long enough, but not quite, and it's also bloody bent. Look at that, look at that. Let's see if we can straighten it out a bit. That's a bit better. But the idea is that you line it up as close as you can with the centre of that's actually gone into the centre of this bush here now. So that's more or less it. I don't, can you see down there? There's a nut there. There's a connect. That's the connection for the torch power welding current on the outside, and that's actually duplicated on the inside. You maybe can't see that. I can connect to that on the inside and connect straight to this brass tube here, which is where the power goes in. There's my gas, which I can take outside to the gas valve connection there. And there's my torch switch, which I can take straight down, probably into the back of that socket down there, which is where, that's the torch switch there. So I can, that's the external torch switch. So if I take that torch switch off, I can probably connect straight to the back of the torch switch and do away with this. or I could just run that into there and connect it. I might just run it in and connect it. Anyway, it's going very well. That's back on. I want a couple of bearings for the motor, but that's by the by. So I'm just having a cup of tea. It's 4 o'clock and I shall shortly be going home to make my daughter's cappuccino and watch Keepo with them. So I'll see y'all later. If there's anything else happens interesting today, I'll bring you back again. Right, chaps, that's it. Oh, I've said chaps again. I'm sorry. Close of play Monday. I've got the new Eurotorch roughly fitted. I've got 2 holes to drill in the bottom, but there she is. She's all lined up. She fits well. I'm going to see if I can get a longer piece of this this guide tube from Tech Arc. But other than that, this was a bit of a pig to get off. It was all seized up, and the bearings were shot as I've shown you. But that's it. So that'll do for now, because I'm getting a low battery warning on this camera. So we'll carry on tomorrow. See you tomorrow, people. Good morning, people. It's Tuesday morning, 10:30, early, and I'm going to York to pick up another part for this, on here. I dropped an email to Tech Arc last night. I got a reply first thing this morning, and they do a longer tube and a longer thread. So I'm going to pop out this morning and pick it up, and we'll see how that goes. So I'll go now, and I'll catch you later when I've got it. Bye for now. Gentlemen, I have returned from Osbaldwick, and we have a much different rig, a much longer tail, and it fits beautifully. So we know we're aligned, and what I'm going to do next is I'm going to take this piece off the end of the old pipe here and use that as a bush in the old nozzle, if you will, to thread my new wire guide into. So I'll get this cut off here and I'll get back to you. Right, people, there it is fitted. I've got the right depth at the nozzle end, if you like. This will need, if I can get it in shot, this will need trimming to fit length, but it goes right the way in, right to the end of the nozzle. I've got a nice straight line down there. I've managed to get this side off so I can get in here and work, which is really good. That's the connection for the welding current. And I think I can get the wires for the torch switch and the gas line inside, because this is the gas line here. Can you see that? Can you see that? That's the gas line there, so I can move that inside as well. I can connect the whole thing inside, make it a lot neater on the outside and a lot simpler. So my next job is to set to and make a piece of metal to go from there, up there, down there, up that side and across to those 2 fixings. And then I need to pivot a bolt from that to put the tension on the feed rollers. So that's the next job. So that's the Eurotorch fitted, and I've drilled the other 2 holes and bolted it on, so you can see how it works at the back. It's fairly straightforward, and I had to make that piece of steel for the top, and I drilled a hole in it. I thought, you idiot, you should have just tapped a hole in it. So that's what I drilled, another hole and tapped it, and that's just because the oval slot in the front panel is actually deeper than the position of the coupler. So it's all done. So when there's something more to tell you, I'll bring you back. See you later, people. Well, here we go. It's 4:30 Tuesday evening, and I'm about to set off for home, but I've got the socket taken out of there, and I've got the gas connection taken out of there, and I can connect both those internally. If we look here, those connectors there are for the torch switch to turn the wire feed on and off, turn the welding current on and off. This here, which will be changed from the position it's in at the moment, that's the gas connection. So I can move both those inside and connect them all inside. So that's done. This is lined up. I'm happy with this, and I'm just about to start on making the metal strap for here fitted onto the bolt under there to mount a bolt on a pivot, so that the bolt sticks up through there like that, and I'm going to put a little hand wheel on it and a spring to tension the wire feed, and then it should be ready to assemble it. That's the connection for the welding current there, which goes onto this here. So all I need to do is shorten down the existing cable and connect it on the inside instead of the outside. Connect it straight up to there, and then what I'll probably do here is put some shrink sleeving or a plastic cap over that, just to insulate it, but it's already insulated where it comes through the panel. And then just a blank for there and a blank for there. So it's beginning to come together now, and I hope I'll get it more or less finished tomorrow. In fact, if I get that tensioning mechanism finished tomorrow, I shall be happy. Okay chaps, catch you tomorrow morning. Bye. Hello again people. Wednesday, just after 2 o'clock, and I'm just here again to start on the welder. I'm going to make this piece today to put the tension on the wire feed. I had to go and do a little job this morning that turned into a big job, so I'm not having an early start today, but I got paid, so there you go. Right, I'll bring you back when I've built it, or maybe even during the build. Bye for now. Hi again people. So here we are, after a mad hour and a half of creativity, metal bashing and bending, we have made this bracket that fits around there, and I've just put a little thin punch through there, a locator punch, and I've just marked the position for that hole which bolts through into that hole there. So the job for tomorrow is to get a bolt, preferably a fine threaded bolt, and put it through there, and then put a couple of pivots on there, and then put a pin through. Let me just get it so I can see what you're doing, so that you can see what I'm doing. Put a pin through there, so in effect make a T-shaped bolt with a pivot on the bottom so that it can swivel like that, and then on top of here we need a spring and a little hand wheel to put the tension on that. But that, I think you'll agree, has gone rather well, even though I had to stretch the corners to get them to fit around the aluminium casting, but it fits okay. I may even do something with that, I don't know what. We'll see tomorrow. Right, it's time for a tidy up and home for coffee. Catch you tomorrow. Bye now. Good morning people, it's Thursday morning, and here it is, all made, just ready to clean it. It needs a good clean up, of course, and some sharp edges taken off. The word I was searching for yesterday was transfer punches. That little dot mark you can see there is the transfer mark where I need a hole to just bolt up to there, and then this component's finished, and we can start work on the pivots for the top to pivot a bolt to hold the pressure roller down. So I'm going to get on with that now, and I'll catch you in a minute. There we are folks, a TIG weld, and it's all on, excuse me, and this goes through there, And the next TIG weld will be to put that onto there, like that. I've already filed a bit of a nice half round slot in it so it locates properly. So I shall go and weld that, and then bring you back and show you that. And we're about finished on this part of it. Okay, see you in a bit. And here we are, people. That's about that part finished. I have to, I think I need to drill a hole in here, if I can point it at the, point the cameras up, for access to an little Allen screw underneath there, but it may be out of range, and I might have to fit that part and then fit this, but it's no problem now because this fits easily. So just 3 bolts. So that looks like that part of the repair is complete. Unfortunately, my bearings haven't arrived yet, so I'm still waiting for the bearings for in there. But I'm sure that they'll probably come today, and I'll get them tonight and fit them tomorrow. I need to shorten this thread down, and I need to make a hand wheel of some sort for the top, unless I can find an 8mm hand wheel, or maybe make something and weld an 8mm nut into it or something like that. Right, there we go. It's looking better all the time. Right, I'll bring you back when there's something more interesting to show you. Bye for now. Right, people, well, it's 4:20 Thursday. I've just put some filler in there just to neaten it up and square it up a bit. I'm not going to rub that down until tomorrow because it'll be properly cured by then. Just to neaten it up, really. I ground it out with a Dremel with a little burr on the end to get all that oxide out, and then gob that up. So there's the bracket finished, and there's its little counterpart bracket, and there's the T-bolt ready for cutting to length. And I've just had a mad frenzy on the welder itself. I've connected up the main welding current cable from the internal connector. I've moved the just move my hand out. See here, this is the gas connector. I've moved the gas connector from the front panel where it stuck out of that hole just there. I've moved it to the inside and screwed it into the hole it came through with a couple of big washers, and so now that's connected to the gas pipe there. I just need to put a tie wrap on that. And I've also connected the trigger wires, the torch trigger wires, to the original connections which were in the back of that socket, which I've taken off. So that is all connected up, and if the bearings have come today, tomorrow I can assemble it all and test it. I think that's it. There may be some minor adjustment to get the guide tube near to the rollers. It says get the guide tube about 1mm from the surface of the rollers, so that you've got the minimum amount of space in which a bird's nest can take place. And I think that's a damn good idea. So I may be making some slight modifications, but I won't know that until I get it all back together. But basically, that's the finish of fitting the Eurotorch conversion kit, and it's the finish of my repair. So tomorrow, hopefully, if all the bits come, I'll get it all back together and we can have a test. But knowing my luck, something will go wrong. So there you go. Right, that's the end of Thursday, folks. Catch you all tomorrow. Bye now. Good morning, people. It's Friday morning. It's about 11 o'clock or 11:30, I'm not quite sure. Once again, I've been delayed getting here, and the bearings haven't come, so bit of a pain. But last night, thinking about this job, I realised what happened to this and what caused this damage, because I've been thinking about it long and hard, and it didn't make sense at first, and then the penny dropped. The main welding current cable was connected to this bolt hole here. So all the welding current was being shunted into this aluminium casting. This nozzle went into there, like that. He said, knocking the other one on the floor and losing it. There it is. This nozzle went into there, and the cable for the welder, the umbilical, was connected to this, soldered onto this. So all the current for the welder went through there to the torch. That was fixed into there, and that was fixed down with those 2 Allen screws. Now, if we look at this end, in this end there's a nozzle. This nozzle is for the wire to go into. It's held in place by this spring-loaded pin. You press that down and you pull the nozzle out like that. Right? Push it back in, press the pin down, it locks in place. Behind here, where I've repaired it, is the remains of a hole for another spring-loaded pin. Now, I don't know what was on top of this, because all that was on top of it when I got it was a bodge up, which we've now done away with. But all the welding current would have been travelling from there through this aluminium casting into this what appears to be steel casting, steel turning, this piece here, and then onwards into this piece of brass, and then through to that piece of brass. And it looks to me like what's happened is that a high resistance joint has developed between the aluminium casting and this. Not difficult, because aluminium passing electrical current isn't a particularly brilliant idea in this sort of situation, especially not into steel, right? And it's overheated it and melted it. Now with the new setup, the welding current doesn't go to here at all. Excuse me, it goes direct to the Eurotorch conversion that I've fitted. So this problem is now eliminated, provided this casting doesn't need to be at motor current voltage, at welding current voltage for the motor, because it's actually voltage to the motor. I can't believe it does, but if it doesn't work when I reassemble it, this is what I'll look for first. But to be honest, I don't think it is, and I think that's what's caused this problem. It's simply become high resistance. It's overheated and melted. Somebody's been welding away quite happily, and then it stopped welding, and they've gone to look at it and thought, oh Christ, it's melted. So anyway, there's our repair finished, and I'm just going to go and put a blob of weld on the inside of this. Can you see that? Yeah, I'm just going to put a blob of weld on the inside of this here, in there, just to stop that tipping out that way. You probably think it's overkill, but I've always been one for belt, braces and suspenders. There you go. Right, I'll bring you back when I've done it. As far as I can see, it's all finished. I can't really go any further with this project because the bearings haven't come. But you can see there I've got the clearance hole drilled for the Allen screw, just so I can tighten that up. I'll need to adjust the amount of depth that this goes in, because when I actually slid this into this piece, it doesn't go in anywhere near as far as I thought it did. And we can reduce the clearance. We can reduce the clearance down there to get the point of the nozzle, if you like, where the wire goes into, quite a lot closer to the wheels than it is at the moment, and that is a good idea, especially with 0.6 wire. I don't use 0.6 wire anymore, I use 0.8 wire, but it's especially a good idea because it reduces the chance of a kink in a bird's nest. So I may have to just remove a bit from here in the lathe so that goes in further, and I may also drill this hole in here a bit deeper so that this goes in further and even possibly pokes out of the end of the nozzle there very slightly, just to make it better. Perhaps I'm being too perfectionist here. I'll put those two little blobs of weld on the ends of this just to anchor it down in that plane. Probably unnecessary, but there we go. So that's finished. And last night when I got home, I had a knock on the door and a parcel came in. And the parcel was a present from my friend Richard Kirkman, who is up in Darlington, who I've been helping sort his Colchester student out, and he actually came to see me at one point, and we went over my lathe, which is also a student, and he sent me a box of presents. Look at this. Some wonderful Morse taper drills, 2 contactors which he sort of ordered in error and will have no use for, but I will, and a beautiful wooden box he's made. This is really nice. Just look at the workmanship on this. It's fantastic, really good. I've got a couple of Verdict DTIs, which are really quite a good quality make of DTI. I'm probably going to line this with some hard foam. I've got some black hard foam, I think, and I'll just sit them into it. And that is it. I think they're in a plastic box at the moment, which is not very good. And also some neoprene gasket material, which is always useful. And there are certainly not a few gaskets on my lathe that do weep a bit, so I'm going to make some more. Thank you very much, Richard. It's very, very well appreciated indeed. Okay, I'm going to cut off here. It probably won't be the last for this week, but I'll cut off here, and then if anything else happens, there isn't a lot more I can do with the welder, I don't think. It's just a bloody nuisance those bearings not coming. I think what I might do is get that pressure washer up on the hydraulic platform and just drop the valves out and make sure all the valves are sealing and make sure none of the O-rings are split, because I'm pretty sure it's not working at full pressure. That's not, I mean, 70 bar is 1008 psi, right, and I'm pretty sure it's not working at 1008 psi, so we'll have a look at that and see what happens. Okay, catch you later. Right people, it's 3:30 Friday evening, and there it is, all finished. I found this hand wheel and whacked an 8mm thread in it. I've got but this may not be the final spring that gets used, but whatever. But anyway, it's all there, it's all assembled, and I think you'll agree that is a bit of a better rig than the rig that was on it, which was that spring and that. And that's how you adjusted it before, by turning that thread, and that was the spring. So I think it's a bit of a better rig than that. Now then, here's a little thing, and it is a little thing. Can anybody tell me what this is? It came in this little leather case. I've been told it's a clock oiler, and that doesn't make any sense at all, to me anyway. When you press that down, that's got a very strong spring on it, and that little button comes out the top, right? But when you press that way, the button doesn't go in, and it's got this little shield piece that screws in over there like that, and screws onto there with a little, it's actually got a little tapered thread on the end there. Can you see that? Yes, you can see that. It's got a little tapered thread. Right, so if anybody knows what that is, I'd love to know. I thought clock oiler, I thought, well, you must be able to put oil in the top, so I unscrewed the top and there's nothing. It's solid brass, you can't get into it even. So there you go. Right, what else? Oh, I've this was the key that was in here, and it was pretty bad. So I've made, if you can see there, I've made a new one, and it fits much better, and the gear's tight now, there's no slop in it. I've cut that, took all the rust off the top of there and cut that out to fit the new positions for the wires and pipes. I shall put some rubber strip around the edge of that. But other than that, I think we're about finished. I'm just waiting for the bearings now. So I've had my customary Friday tidy up, and seeing as I've got to go shopping this evening, I think I'll call it a 3:30 finish, and I'll catch you all next week. Thanks for watching, chaps. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope it's proved interesting and educational. Please subscribe, like, comment, whatever. The whole thing about this is enjoyment, and believe you me, I enjoy doing this. This is my great love of my life when I'm not at home with the wife, is fixing things, mending things, making things work. Okay, catch you next week. Bye for now.